In a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario farms to the world stage.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 8 outstanding pacers, including $2 million winner and O'Brien Horse of the Year betting line, who is new to Canada in 2022. Look for first crop yearlings from these 3 standout stallions in 2022. O'Brien Award winner and earner of over $1.4 million, Jimmy Freight, Horse of the Year and richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, McWicked, and O'Brien Award winner and Metro Pace champion, Stag Party. Also standing millionaires, Art Spink, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com. That's winbackfarm.com.
Tony Beaton joins us today on Tucson Training. Thanks for having us here at your stable.
Not a problem, anytime.
Now you have around 13 3-year-olds training back now this spring. How are they going so far, just in general?
So far, so good. They're doing what we asked. We've kind of fell into a bad little spell here with track conditions and weather and that, but we're going to be back right on track.
This spring has definitely been tough, I think, for everyone. Just the hot, the cold, the rain, the snow. It's hard to keep on top of it.
Oh, it's been terrible. It's just been, it's like it just wants to keep going and going this winter.
I'm ready for it to be over. And speaking of your 3-year-olds, one of your notable ones coming back is Magical Arthur. How has he been since putting him away this fall?
He's been super coming back. He's really filled out and developed into, he was a nice horse last year, but he's developed into a real nice horse and came back in good condition. He was turned out at Darlene Hayes' farm, and she did a great job with him, and we're very happy with where he's at this point. I'm looking forward for a big year out of him.
When you're choosing a turnout farm for, your 2-year-olds turning 3-year-olds or older horses, what type of questions, or what are you looking for at a turnout farm to find the right fit for your horses?
This year it was kind of wherever we could find space, but Darlene is at the owner Dave Lumsden's farm, and that's where Arthur was born, and Arthur was going back to get turned out, so we made sure he was getting back there, and everything worked out good, so we're fortunate that way we had a spot for him.
Perfect. Now, one we can't move on to your 2-year-olds without talking about is Line Drive Hanover. You got this horse from Casey last fall, started racing this winter, and has been, spectacular ever since. Can you just tell us, how he is?
He's quite a ball, a handful, He's a good character to have around, though, and always a good feeling horse. And he's done nothing but great things for us so far, and obviously a feather in our hat to have in our stable right now and that, but we're looking for bigger and better things from him. And like I said before off camera, we were talking how James has really driven him great every start, and we can't knock that, and we do have to give him a little credit here. So whether he deserves it or not, but
we'll let him attest to that one. Now, when you're looking at drivers for horses, how big of a deal it is to have the same driver week to week on your younger horses?
Well, every horse is different, so we gotta try to match them up the best way we can. But if we can keep that one guy with that one horse that he gets along, and obviously, like in the line drive case, James and line drive get along great, but I think anybody can get along with line drive. As far as the 2-year-olds, you know, they're all different in their own different ways, and we try to maybe match a aggressive driver with a lazier horse, or the aggressive horse get the more calm driver. But you know, and sometimes we're just stuck with what's left too. So, and they're all decent drivers over there. So,
spoken like a true trainer. With what's left, sometimes is all you get, right? Speaking of your 2-year-olds, you know, you always have a handful of Ontario sired horses. What do you like about the traits of the program and the horses that you see from year to year?
Well, the Ontario program, the first thing, it's close to home, is what we like, and it's a great program. They go for decent money. Obviously the golds, if you got a good gold colt, you can make real good money, and you can also take on some of them Grand Circuit races. We've been fortunate the last few years, like Arthur won a Nassagaweya, and I think there was Twinbee Eagle and Rose Run Vantage, and then one, I forget what they won, but Champlain's or something like that. And so we did win some decent races along the way, and with Ontario sires. And a lot of times they're more, you can buy them, you can afford them. Now, some sires, you just can't afford them anyway, and obviously the Ontario sire, we got the Better's Delights. They're very expensive, but you know, they're good horses.
Now, when you're managing a 2-year-old throughout the season, what type of tactics do you use? Because it can be a fairly long season for them.
Yeah, we try to aim them for the sire stakes, obviously. If we need a start here and there, we give them a start, maybe an overnight, or maybe it's a qualifier if need be. Like we try to stay away from. We have raced in the Battle of Waterloo, and that it's a grueling race. Like, the strong survive out of that, and but that's part of it. But some owners, they want to go to it, and you know, and it goes for good money, so you gotta exercise that option, right? And that, but we try to pick our spots is the biggest thing with the 2-year-olds, and try to keep them fresh for the big money at the end of the year.
And when you're trying to keep them fresh and going through and even training them down this time of year, do you tend to start with more or less equipment, or does it depend on the 2-year-old?
We try to just keep it simple and throw a set of hobbles on them, a blind bridle. If we have to open them up, we do. If they get a little too aggressive, we throw an ear hood on them or a mini bit. Whatever we got to do, but we try to stay away from the poles and everything. Just, they're babies. They're going to have their quirks, and once push comes to shove, obviously we're going to have to add this, add that, whatever, but we try to just keep them happy and healthy, and sound is the biggest thing.
Now let's get right into your 2-year-olds. First one we're going to talk about is you have 2 first crop Stay Hungry colts. First one here is Stay Thirsty Devi. You got for $25,000 out of Harrisburg.
Yeah, I had an owner, Bob Jones from Alberta, and he's an old owner of Keith Clark's, and he had Keith look at a couple of these Stay Thirsties, and he had me look at them, and this is the one we kind of, out of the 3 or 4 that we looked at, and we were willing to go to a much higher number than this. And like when the hammer dropped at 25, Keith looked at us and said, "You guys are going to jail. You stole this horse." And you know what? He's been an exceptionally nice colt so far. Just, he doesn't do a thing wrong. He's like a little race car out there, and we're very happy with him.
Your second Stay Hungry colt is Redwood Hanover for $50,000 at Harrisburg.
Redwood is I went to Hanover on the last day in Harrisburg, and I asked one of the handlers, I said, "What's your best colt?" I got an owner that I got to buy a horse for, and you know, most times there's no better place to go than Hanover to get a decent horse. And anyway, he said, "I'm telling you, this Redwood's a real nice colt." So anyway, I said, "He's coming home with me." And we bought him for $50,000, which is decent money compared to what I normally spend. And and that, but he's been super. He's really grown. He's a big, strong colt, him, and he's very athletic and exceptional on the track so far.
Next one, we have a first crop all bets off Lions Addiction filly for $28,000, Ontario Sire from Harrisburg.
She's one that the Lions, 3 Lions, they told me to find them in Ontario Sire filly, and so we went and looked at this one, and he's like, this isn't all bets off. It's not a better's delight. So I said, yeah, that's what I told you. And anyway, he said, it's actually a real nice looking filly. Let's take a shot at it. So we end up getting it for 28, I think it was, yeah. And you know what? She had a little lameness issue there at first with a curb, but once we got that froze and everything, and she's just turned a corner, and she's been great so far, training in the top set of the fillies. So.
Speaking of the Lions family, first crop Lions Somewhere, Lion Excel is your gelding here for a homebred for them.
Yeah, we weren't sure what we're getting with the homebreds. They looked pretty frail when they got here and from the Amish, and this colt's really developed into a nice colt. And honestly, every one of the riders here love going with him because he doesn't do a thing wrong on the track, and he just puts his head down, goes forward.
Next up is your sports rider filly, Right the Rules. You got Lexington for $30,000.
This is a sports rider filly that I bought for Steve Condren and his partners, and she's been an exceptional filly right from the get-go as well. She's a great big sports rider filly. Like, we had to put the ear hood on her, just she was getting a little aggressive on us, and now she's like 2 fingers to train, and just a beautiful gait to her, and she's been, like I say, great right from the get-go. Her.
Your shadow play gelding, The Will to Play, you got at Lexington for $15,000.
Will is a colt. I just took a shot at him for $15,000 down in Lexington. I kind of liked what I seen in him. He was kind of a big, tall, gangly looking colt. Now he's developed into a great, big, strong colt, and very good gaited. And like the other day there, when I moved him, he was like gone right to the front, and a couple of strides, and it was like, this colt's all right. Like, we were just hoping to get a nice grassroots colt, but who knows, maybe we can get a little more out of him.
Your betting line filly from Harrisburg for $40,000. You own a piece of this one, Duchesne?
Yeah, Duchesne is a sister to Vegas Vacation, and like I've looked at all Vegas's brothers and sisters all along, and obviously after we had him, and I just felt this one was probably the closest on video that looked like him, and I decided to take a shot at her, and like Mac Nichols said, yeah, let's take a run at her. So we end up getting her, and she's been probably one of the most athletic babies that I've got so far, and she just does everything we ask. She can be a bit of a firecracker, but we can deal with that.
Is there anything specific that you see between the two that really stands out for you?
I just, like, Vegas was always, as you know, he had the straws and everything on his bridle and a bit of a goofball, and this one's can have similarities, but they're just both very athletic, and they have a desire to do it. So
always great when you're training them down and you see that desire. Speaking of trouble, your next one here is Trouble's a Bruin. You're better than Cheddar Colt for $28,000 at Lexington.
This colt's very well named. He's quite a character, him. Like, you don't know if he's going to go straight, sideways, go where, and like, we missed a training here and there, and it's like he forgot everything. It's like he's got a short memory, but once he gets in that routine and keeps going, he's a really handy little colt, and like a quick turn of foot on him.
And your Better's Delight filly for $13,000 at Lexington, Lion's Better Day.
Lions' better day was one that the Lions, we did get them that better delight out of Lexington, and honestly, I thought we got a steal here. She was a smaller filly, and when I bought her, and now she's developed into like a tank of a horse, and like just a complete sweetheart on the track. She does everything that we ask and does it professionally, and she's just a nice horse.
Now, you've had your own stable, a bigger stable that you've been running for over 5 years now, and it seems to grow each year. What kind of things have you learned from year to year that you improve on or change?
We just try to keep things going with the program we have and put the work in. Try to surround yourself with some real good people, and like I've been fortunate. I've had good people right from the get-go working with me, and like this year I think I got an exceptional group here, and the babies are showing it. Like each year, like you got to have some luck, and obviously if you have a little bit of luck on the track, you get noticed. But like I say, you got to surround yourself with good people if you want to have the good results.
Well, thank you for joining us here on Twos in Training, and good luck this season.
Thank you very much.
In a field lies hope, anticipation. From the biggest races to the brightest stages, taking you on the wildest ride.
Forbidden Trade with a gigantic upset. Best in show.
For the glory, the pride, the payoff. Enter the field, the Ontario Sire Stakes program, from Ontario farms to the world stage.
Winback Farm of Canada is home to 8 outstanding pacers, including $2 million earner and O'Brien Horse of the Year betting line, who is new to Canada in 2022. Look for first crop yearlings from these 3 standout stallions in 2022. O'Brien Award winner and earner of over $1.4 million, Jimmy Freight, Horse of the Year and richest pacing stallion in harness racing history, McWicked, and O'Brien Award winner and Metro Pace champion, Stag Party. Also standing millionaires, Art Spink, Better Than Cheddar, Better's Delight, and Shadow Play. For more information, visit winbackfarm.com. That's winbackfarm.com.